Morning. So today we are going to see about principles of epidemiology and epidemiological methods. So I keep six honest serving men. They taught me all I know. Their names are what, why, when, how, where, and who. If you have a habit of asking questions, you will get a in-depth knowledge. That is a utmost important thing what we need to do in our student life. So wherever you are getting any fact or information, try to ask what, why, when, how, where, and who. If you learned by using all these questions, the knowledge will be retained in your memory for a longer duration instead of just reading the books. So I repeat, I keep six honest serving men. They taught me all I know. Their names are what, why, when, how, where. So epidemiology. What is epidemiology? Epi among, demos people, and logos study. So epidemiology to study about the population in a community is nothing but epidemiology. Epidemiology definition: the study of the distribution and determinants of health related states or events in specified population and the application of this knowledge to control the health problems. Again, I'm repeating, this is a study of distribution, how the disease has been distributed in the population, and determinants of health related states or event. So, what are the determinants of the particular disease or health status in the community? In a specific population, nothing but in a particular population or community. And after that, what we are going to do, we need to apply this knowledge to control the disease in the same population, right? So we need to study about the distribution and determinants of the particular health related states or event and applying this knowledge to control the disease in that particular population. So that is nothing but epidemiology. So definitions, again I'm repeating, the study of the distribution and determinants of health related states or events. Why we are stating that states or event? Because health is a state, it's not a fixed term. Every time it gets changed. Day to day it's getting changed, depends upon the host. So it is a states or event. Okay, not only health, when an accident or event can happen in a health issues, right? So that's why they mentioned like a states or event. The study of the distribution and determinants of health-related states or event in a specified population and the application of this study to control the health problems in the same population or the community. Clear? Okay. So this definition was given by John M. Lash, 1983. Clear? Okay. So the branch of science which treats of epidemics. So these are the different type of definitions given by different scientists. Parkin, 1873, he defined epidemiology, that branch of medical science which treats of epidemics. So whenever there is an epidemic, new outbreak of epidemic, how they are going to treat. So that defines epidemiology. Okay. And for Frost, 1927, he defined epidemiology is the science of the mass phenomena of infectious disease. So he mainly used these terms to control the infectious disease. Okay, and Greenwood 1934, the study of the disease, any disease as a mass phenomenon. Okay, in a community, if you are going to apply in a community, he wants to mention that is a epidemiology, the study of distribution and determinants of disease frequency in man, McCann 1960. So followed by this only, they have formulated this definition for epidemiology by John M. Lash 1983. Okay, there are three components are there for epidemiology. First one, the study of disease frequency, study of disease distribution, and study of the data. So based on that definition, we can able to see these terms: frequency, distribution, determinants. All these are key factors in epidemiological studies. Okay, frequency, distribution, and determinants. So coming to next aims of epidemiology. First one, describe the distribution and magnitude of the health and disease problems in human population. So we need to describe the distribution and magnitude. Suppose, for example, leprosy is distributed among elderly population, and the magnitude is nothing but the burden of the disease in the particular population or the community. So for that, we need to know in-depth knowledge of epidemiology to describe the distribution and magnitude of health and disease problems in human population. Second one, to identify etiological factors in the pathogenesis of disease. So how we are going to identify etiological factors by doing epidemiological studies or methods, we could able to formulate hypothesis. Okay, by formulating hypothesis, we are going to identify the etiological factors. We will prove or disprove that hypothesis by through which we can able to identify the exact association between the risk factors and the outcome. So that is nothing but to identify etiological factors in the pathogenesis of disease. And third one, to provide the data essential to the planning, implementation, and evaluation of services for the prevention, control, and treatment of disease, and to setting up priority among those services. So this point, so what we are going to do, suppose we found that CA breast is due to breastfeeding, low breastfeeding, or let us take cancer, say lung cancer, smoking and lung cancer. So we found the association between smoking and lung cancer. After that, what we are going to do, we found that some risk factors, right? So we need to control that risk factor. So that is nothing but we need to include that in our planning strategies. So to provide the data essential to the planning. First one, planning is nothing but legislative planning or control planning, whatever it is, like educational, whatever services we are going to do, we need to plan it first. Next, implementation, like legislation. We are less than 18 years, they should not give cigarettes in shops. So that's another through legislation they are implementing. And evaluation of services. We need to evaluate whatever services we are doing right. Even all the national program has to evaluate to identify whether it is in a correct track or not. Okay, for the prevention, control, and treatment of disease, and to setting our priorities among those services. Okay, again, I'm reading epidemiology, aims of epidemiology to describe the distribution and magnitude of health and disease problems in human population. Second one, to identify etiological factors in the pathogenesis of disease. Third, to provide the data essential to the planning, implementing, and evaluation of services for the prevention, control, and treatment of disease, and to the setting up of priorities among those services. Okay. So coming to measurements in epidemiology. So before getting into that epidemiological designs, we need to know about certain terms, right? So for that, we need to read about all these measurements of epidemiology. So it includes measurements of mortality, measurements of morbidity, measurements of disability, measurements of natality, measurements of presence, absence, or distribution of the characteristics or attributes to the disease. Mortality we know is nothing but death rate, right? Morbidity, disease rate, disability, natality, and measurements of presence, absence, or distribution of the characteristics or attributes of the disease. Next, measurement of medical needs, healthcare facilities, utilization of health services, and other health-related events. Next, measurement of presence or absence of distribution of the environmental and other factors suspected of causing the disease. Measurements of demographic variables. So coming to what is variate, like any piece of information referring to the patient or his disease is called a variate. Okay, again I'm telling any piece of information referring to the patient or his disease is called a variate. Discrete variate and continuous variate. There are two types of variates: is there discrete and continuous. Discrete is nothing but a discrete manner. So number of lung cancer, number of skin rashes, etc. Okay, continuous variable means which can have a decimal point, continuous variable like BP, height, weight, all these variables can be continuous, can be categorized as continuous variable. So any piece of information is nothing but variate, and discrete variate and continuous variate. This is nothing but data. Okay, any piece of information referring to the patients or the disease data or variate. Discrete data, continuous data. Discrete means it will be in a discrete manner. Okay, number of group of numbers or groups. Okay, and continuous is nothing but continuous. The numbers will have a decimal points. In circumstances, any factor in the environment that might be suspected of causing a disease, like example air pollution, polluted water, etc., is called as circumstances. Any factor in the environment that might be suspected of causing a disease is circumstances. Then tools of measurements. Okay, we know what are the measurements of disease or mortalities or morbidities. Now, how we are going to measure that? By using some tools. These tools are nothing but rate, ratios, and proportionate. Okay, so what is rate? Rate is nothing but measures the occurrence of some particular events in a population during a given period of time. So, is a measure of occurrence of some particular event in a population during the given period of time. Okay, the rate compromises numerator, denominator, time specifications, and multiplier. Okay, numerator, denominator, time specifications, and multiplier. So various rates includes crude rate, specific rates, standardized rates. Ratio. So here you can see, like, rate in numerator is a part of denominator. In rate, we can able to see numerator is a part of denominator. For example, uh, crude rate, crude death rate. If you are going to take crude death rate, what will be the formula? Total number of death in a specific population divided by total number of population in the given duration of time into 1000. Okay, here numerator is nothing but total number of death in the population. In the denominator, it's the total number of population in that particular area or the community. Time specification, that particular duration of time, maybe in 2020 or 2019, whatever it is. Multiplier into 1000. This 1000 will reflect in the unit, right? Suppose, for example, crude death rate is like 20 per 1000 population per year. So that forms a unit by using the multiplier. So rate compromises numerator, denominator, time specifications, and the multiplier. So numerator will always be a part of denominator in rate. Again, I'm repeating, numerator is a part of denominator in rate. Okay. And next, coming to ratio, it expresses a relation in size between two random quantities. Okay, the relation in size between two random quantities. Numerator here, you can see the numerator is not a component of the denominator. For example, sex ratio, doctor's population ratio, etc. Let us take sex ratio. Number of males divided by number of female. So here numerator is number of male, denominator is number of female. So numerator is not a part of denominator, like in rates. Am I clear? So number of male is different and number of female is different. Female population is not, male population is not a part of female population. So the numerator is not a component of denominator in case of ratio. Whereas in rate, the numerator is a part of denominator. Right? Clear? Then proportion. A ratio which indicates the relation in magnitude of a part of the whole. So ratio, actually proportion is a ratio, but it is going to describe the magnitude as a part of the whole. Okay, numerator is always included in the denominator. Okay, proportion is usually expressed as percentage. Should I repeat? The ratio which indicates the relation in magnitude of a part of the whole. Numerator is always included in the denominator. Okay. So suppose, for example, out of 100 proportionate mortality rate, if you are going to take proportional mortality rate, the numerator will always be a part of denominator. Okay. Actually, it is a ratio, even though the numerator is a part of denominator in proportional mortality rate. Concept of numerator and denominator related to the population, denominator related to the population, mid-year population, usually on every 1st of July. Okay, population at risk, those who are having the risk of developing the disease. So based on the disease, we can calculate a population at risk. Then person time, person distance, subgroups of the populations related to total events, number of events. Measurements of mortality. Limitation of mortality data includes the incomplete reporting of deaths, lack of accuracy, lack of uniformity, choosing a single cause of death, changing codings and fashions, disease with low fatality. So we cannot use this mortality rate due to certain in all the places due to certain limitations because incomplete reporting of the deaths. The deaths cannot be reported in everywhere in a same manner, right? In urban area, the death rates are getting reported in a different frequencies, and whereas in a rural area, it is in a different frequencies. Lack of accuracy. Suppose, for example, a death happened due to MI as well as due to age. Due to age, the elderly male got MI, acute MI, and got admitted in a urban city, and his death has been reported as a MI. Whereas in a rural area, if it is going to happen in the same elderly male and MI, they will report it as elderly death. So they are not, the accuracy is not equal in all the places. So accuracy is having problem in mortality rate because of low reporting. Lack of uniformity, choosing a single cause of death. Everywhere, there is a multiple cause for death will be there in each and every cases. But they will mention only one major causes, and other causes are getting neglected in certain areas. And changing coding and fashions, disease with low fatality. Suppose, for example, if the disease is very low in prevalence or incidence, it may not be highlighted. Like just like number of disease which is more common. Suppose TB, we can easily able to identify that it is getting highlighted more than an uncommon disease in a particular population. So limitation of mortality data includes the incomplete reporting of deaths, lack of accuracy, lack of uniformity, choosing a single cause of death, changing coding and fashions, disease with low fatality. Okay, so those are the limitation of mortality rate. Now let us see what are the uses of mortality data. Explaining trends and differentials in overall mortality. First one, explaining the trend of deaths and the differentials in overall mortality. Second, indicates priority for health actions and the allocation of resources. To setting up a priority, this mortality rate will help us. Okay, to suppose, for example, number of children death is more when compared with the number of elderly population, means we need to concentrate more on under 5 health. We need to create more health programs to safeguard them than the other health problems. So we need to set out priority based on this mortality rates. Okay, in designing intervention programs, during interventions, we need to identify which is having more public health issues. Then we will find out which intervention methods will more used when compared with others. Okay, in assessment and monitoring of public health problems and programs, providing important clues for epidemiological disease. So this mortality rate or data will give important clues for epidemiological researchers. So this is a model of international death certificate, okay? International form of death certificate. So here you can see first cause bronchopneumonia. Approximate interval between onset and death is 5 days. Okay, after developing bronchopneumonia, after 5 days of developing bronchopneumonia, the patient has been expired. Okay, antecedent of proceeding causes strangulated hernia. Okay, before that, on other significant conditions, diabetes. So this is a case of diabetes who developed strangulated hernia and got admitted. During admissions or in the hospital in the consecutive days, he developed bronchopneumonia. And because of this bronchopneumonia, he couldn't be able to have a proper respiratory movements or proper respiratory functions. So land up in death. Okay, so this is first cause, antecedent preceding cause, and this is the comorbid conditions. Mortality rates and ratios, crude death rate. I think we have discussed this in the previous slide itself. Crude death rate is nothing but the number of deaths from all cases per 1,000 estimated median population in 1 year in a given population. Okay, so it's nothing but number of deaths during the year divided by median population into 1,000. Suppose, for example, number of deaths is 200 and the number of population is 20,000, right? So it is 1. Okay. Disadvantage, lack comparability for communities with populations that differ by age, sex, race, etc. So we cannot use this rate we cannot compare in all the places until otherwise all the community or the populations are equal same in all characteristics, but that is highly impossible. We all the communities or all the states or cities are getting differ based on the demographic data, right? So we cannot blindly use this data to compare. Suppose for example Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry, we cannot compare number of alcoholic percentage of alcoholic from Tamil Nadu as well as from Pondicherry, because this percentage is getting differ. The population is getting differ. Okay. Specific death rate cause or disease specific. Example: tuberculosis, cancer, and accident. Like specific death rate includes, for example, tuberculosis, death due to tuberculosis, or death due to cancer, or death due to RTA. Okay, specific groups. Then we can able to find out for specific groups also. Specific groups include age, gender, income, religion, race, housing, etc. These permit comparisons between different cases within the same population. Suppose, for example, if you want to compare within the same population, like death of under 5 compared with the death of elderly people, we can do that because these two rates are from same populations, right? So we can able to compare, but we cannot compare with other population, other set of population. And case fatality rate, actually it is a ratio, represents the killing power of the disease. Total number of deaths due to particular disease divided by total number of cases due to the same disease into 100. This 100 will represent as percentage in unit, okay? Used in acute infectious disease, limited use in chronic disease. So generally this case fatality rate will be useful only for a acute disease. Very rarely we can use it for chronic disease, okay? Next, proportional mortality rate. This is also a kind of ratio. The number of deaths due to particular causes or in a specific age group per 100 or thousands total deaths. Proportional mortality rate from a specific disease. Number of deaths from a specific disease in a year divided by total death from all cause in that particular year into 100. So here you can say this is death due to specific disease, proportionate, okay? So out of all death, how many proportion of the particular disease can cause death? So that is nothing but proportional mortality rate. Under 5, proportional mortality rate is number of death under 5 years of age in a given year divided by total number of death due to the same period of time into 100. So it will be represented as percentage. Okay. Similarly, survival rate. Survival rate is nothing but a proportion of survivors in a group. Generally, this used for cancer patients. Okay, a yardstick for assessment of standards of therapy with special attention in cancers. So, survival rate for cancer cervix, so survival rate for breast cancer. So, like that, we can they are calculating by using this rate. Okay, SRS is nothing but that is equal to total number of patients alive after 5 years of interventions or after diagnosis divided by total number of patients diagnosed or treated into 100, right? So this will give an approximate number of years a cancer patients can be alive after duration of 5 years. Okay. Then comes to adjusted or standardized rate. So we know that, right? We have seen, right? We cannot compare rates blindly from one population to other population. The basic mechanism is epidemiology is nothing, but we need to compare with other populations or with the known parameters in the past, right? If it is in the same population, we can compare easily. But if it is from different populations, we need to do certain procedure. That is nothing but a standardization. It can be a direct standardization or indirect standardization, right? Again, I'm telling adjusted or standardized rate. Rate we cannot compare with other populations. Suppose number of death of population in India is getting differ from number of death in Pakistan due to many reasons, socioeconomic conditions, health facilities, or demographic characteristics are getting differ in both the countries, right? We cannot compare plainly. For those comparisons, we need to standardize the rates. So that standardization can be done under two categories. One is direct standardization, second one indirect standardization. So direct standardization, a standard population, one for which the number in each age and sex group is selected or created by summing up of two populations. Second, apply to the standard population. Third, obtain an expected number of deaths or events in the standard population. Fourth, divide the expected total number of deaths by the total number of standard population, which yield the standardized or age adjusted rates. Okay, so these are the few steps in direct standardization. So I'm repeating. First step, what we have to do, we need to form the, or we need to select, or we need to form a standard population. Okay, our population, actual population is different. Okay, so we cannot apply the percentage from the actual population. So what we need to do, we need to create a standard population, or we need to select a standard population, right? So a standard population, one for which the number of each age and sex group is known, is selected or created. How we are going to create it? By summing up of two population of what we need to compare. Second one, apply to the standard population. So the rate what we are getting from a steady populations, we are going to apply that rates to the standard population. Third one, by applying these things, we can able to get the expected number of death or event in a standard population. Suppose, for example, our actual population is 100 and the standard population is 1000. Okay, so for actual populations, the death rate is 10. Okay, so we are going to apply this 10% in the standard population. So out of 1000, 10% means we will be getting 100. So this 100 is nothing but expected number of deaths or event in the standard population. Whereas in the actual population, the number of death is only 10. Okay, stand by applying in the standard population, you'll be getting it as 100. So this 100 is nothing but expected number of death or event in the standard population. Okay, next step, divide the expected total number of death by the total number of standard population, which yield the standardized or age adjusted rate. So final step is nothing but to divide the expected total number of death by the total of standards population, which is a standardized age adjusted rate. Clear? So example, if we're going to say example, I'm repeating again, a standard populations, one for which the number in each age and sex group is known, is selected or created by summing up of two populations. Second, apply to the standard population. Third, obtain an expected number of deaths or events in a standard population. Fourth, divide the expected total number of deaths by the total of standard population, which yields the standardized or age adjusted rates. So let us see some example. Okay, so here you can see this is a table of calculation of age specific death rate for a city. Okay, here you can see a crude death rate per 1000 is 8.3. Okay, so this is the age group, this is mid-year population. So this 53,500 is the actual population. So death in that particular age group in that particular population is 446. So these are age specific death rates. Okay, per 1000. Okay, so these are the age specific death rates per 1000 population. So what we are going to do is we are going to apply this